It's Saturday morning, November 30th, and you are looking live at Doing Lines from the Let's Not Do This podcast. You got a big O, Leon Oliver, sitting alongside one of the three unwise men. One Scotty Too Hottie. I think Chris is on work release. Hopefully, he'll get done picking up trash on the side of the road very, very soon. Or, his AAA membership ran out and he's currently stranded on the side of the road, which would be even better for all point parties involved. But our bellies are full of turkey, our bellies are full of alcohol, our livers have been destroyed. We're back to make some money, to make some picks, and to get you the information that you need to make the most informed decision. So here we go. Scotty, how are you, sir?
Tired, man. Only got a couple hours of sleep last night. Just couldn't fall asleep. I don't know if I was mad at Georgia Tech or what. So hopefully, like Georgia Tech, I don't fall asleep at the end of the video here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Eight overtimes yesterday between the hedges there at Sanford Stadium. Georgia Tech, what were they up, like 17-0 at one point, I want to say?
It was 17-0. They were up 17-6 at the end of the third quarter. I had the under. Somehow, yeah. Went to overtime. But even like regulation, the overhit somehow just, Georgia Tech just fell asleep.
Yeah, I mean, they literally, Georgia's, they're never going to be out of it. Georgia Tech just couldn't close that out. And that's the difference between good teams and great teams, being able to close it out, and they just couldn't put their rival down. But let me tell you, Haynes King last night, freaking warrior. For Georgia Tech, the former by God Texas Aggie in his second year on the flats there in Atlanta. 24 carries last night, 110 yards, averaging 4.6 yards a pop. 3 touchdowns on the ground for the Yellow Jacket signal caller. And let's not forget, he had 303 through the air and 2 touchdowns passing as well. Kid's tough as nails, and probably feels a little bit like I do this morning after, 4 days, whatever, of nothing but alcoholic beverages, though he's in a lot better shape and he's a lot younger, so I'd imagine he's going to bounce back. But that kid took a beating last night.
Yeah, he did have a good game and all that, but he also fumbled. I was going to say
the banner's old there. I forgot to take that part off. There we go. Make amends with that. But yes, he did fumble
when he needed just another foot to get the first down, and most likely would have iced the game, would have secured my under.
Controversial call on that play. A lot of Georgia Tech social media and different people around the country showing replays of that Haynes King fumble last night. Looks like there could have been a targeting call that was missed there. And the way Haynes King sat on the ground, kind of dejected and looked kind of stunned, didn't really even try to make it to the football. I think he might have got his bell rung, as they used to say back in the day, before we got all serious about concussions and everything in football. Definitely looks like he took a shot to the head that wasn't called there.
Yeah, they were definitely keeping the flags in their pocket at the end there. Georgia got away with an egregious hold on that play before the Carson Beck run on the drive that tied it up.
Yeah.
But, those things happen sometimes at the end of the games.
Scotty, are you intimating that Greg Sankey, SEC commissioner, put in a little call to ESPN, to put in a little call to the officials and said, by golly, we need the Georgia Bulldogs in the playoff? Are you intimating some nefarious behavior here?
I wouldn't go that far. ACC are the ones that usually make the phone calls to have their teams win.
He's still bitter about Miami and Virginia Tech from earlier.
And Miami and Cal.
Yes, and Miami and Cal, yeah. Oh man, but what a great game that was last night. And by the way, I love that they put in the Fakakta alternate 2-point plays starting in the third overtime with the hopes of not having multiple overtime games. Remember that 70-72 game or whatever it was with A&M and LSU? Yeah, they were trying to get rid of things like that, and we go 8 overtimes anyway. Last night.
How do you get that many plays without getting 2 or 3 yards?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, how deep is your 2-point playbook? At that point, I think Georgia Tech came out, I want to say the 7th overtime, and was in the Emory and Henry formation on one of those plays.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go deep in the playbook at that point. I mean, I guess give credit to the coaches for being situationally aware and having those things dialed up, but I guess you just go into your short yardage playbook if you need to, if you run out of 2-point plays. But the mind can only be so creative,
Yeah, but I don't know. After 3 or 4, with both teams not getting a 2-point conversion, it's like, man, just call it a tie.
Yeah.
Both teams would be happy.
Go back to the old days, call it tie. Everybody walks
Yeah.
away. That was certainly the game of the day yesterday because the rest of them, not so much. I mean, Boise State dispatched to Oregon State, no surprise there. Mississippi State did cover against Ole Miss, but the Rebs were in control there. And I think Colorado still may be scoring on Oklahoma State. That was 52-0, and it wasn't that close. It's weird to say that in the 52-0 game. I think Colorado could have scored 100 if they wanted to. I
Yeah.
mean, it was. What has happened in Stillwater? I don't know, but I think it might be time to start having some questions about Mike Gundy because I just think he's taking them as far as he can go. And they went winless in the Big 12 this year. In a Big 12 that didn't have Texas and didn't have Oklahoma either. And they went winless in the Big 12.
Speaking of questionable people.
Speaking of people that are winless, a man who's winless in life, Chris Green. By the way,
I was going to share the records before you got here, but Leon kept talking.
Do you have a is it a spacesuit?
Yeah, what is going on behind you?
I don't know. It's a Santa
over your left shoulder. It looks like
that's insulation.
Ductwork. Oh, okay. Hopefully you get asbestos up there this morning. That'd be great. Can you put some in your coffee? That would make the world a better place.
Shut the fuck up. Why is the blur not working?
Because your life is blurred from all the drinking that you've been doing.
Yeah, your vision is blurry, so it looks normal to you.
Just straightened out at that point. Was there Chris late for the show? And he blamed the fine folks at Dunkin' Donuts. How dare you slander him?
I swear to God, man. My Dunkin' is closed. They completely tore it completely down, and now I have to go to the worst Dunkin' of all time. And they got my shit wrong. Didn't put any cream in my fucking coffee. Look at that shit.
You have enough cream in you.
No, the worst one is by me. They don't even have a drive-through. It's like I stopped going to that one. I go to a different one. But yeah, the kid that's always there looks like he's like 19 and high all the time.
Have you boys heard of a Keurig or a coffee pot?
It's not the same.
I do, but it's not the same.
Dunkin' Cold Brew is elite.
Yeah, well, Duncan, if you would like to hire Chris to fix these issues and sponsor the podcast, you can hit us up at info@letsnotdothispodcast.com, and you can sponsor maybe our Jolton pick of the day or something along those lines, and we can correct Chris's slander. But all right, now since Chris is here, we are complete. Scotty, I know you've been keeper of the records here. Obviously, I was not on this program last week as I was in Charlottesville watching SMU
I don't even want to look at the
Cavaliers. But yes, let's go and take a look at those records because I believe someone on this show may be the hottest gambler on the East Coast right now, and he may be also the most attractive and smartest member of this podcast. Of course, I'm talking about.
So you are talking about me. I wasn't sure.
But
I've been pretty hot too in college, anyways. Let's see. Looking at last week. Yeah, last week I was 4-0 in college, sir. You were 3-1. You lost the Thursday game.
Still hurting.
Was 2-2 in college. You go to NFL. Leon, you were 1-3 in the NFL.
That's okay. I'm a college guy.
I was we'll see. I was 2-2. Chris was 3-1 NFL. Leon, you were 4-4 last week. I was 6-2 overall. Chris was 5-3. So we all did decent last week. These Thursday games.
Week. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, not so much.
Then moving to this week is where I shine, baby. Turkey inspires me to make good life choices.
But we could talk about, you can see it on the screen here. We could recap that next week since we haven't tallied our total this week. But these games are in our total records here, which I wasn't first until yesterday in college somehow. I don't know how y'all let me jump up like that. But yeah, Leon, I guess you got me with the losses here. 25-28 with the 3 pushes. NFL, Chris is still way ahead, 28-23.
Even going 0-3 on Thursday?
Yeah.
Wow, y'all suck.
Hey, a clean sweep across the board for me yesterday. We'll recap those records next week, but a clean sweep for me across the board.
The total, me and Chris are tied for wins.
Yeah.
have more losses. But
I'm the best.
would like-
Even going over on Thursday.
I would like to think the
yeah,
loss.
I'm seeing the board correctly. I should have went 4-0 yesterday. So yeah, here I come.
We put the graphics out on social media on Thursday for Turkey Day and also Black Friday yesterday with the picks for those games. The brilliant one right here, 4-0 yesterday, Mississippi State, Minnesota, the Raiders, and Georgia Tech taking care of things for me. Pays the bet with the big O. So we'll see what happens this week.
The Georgia under should have hit. That was insane at the end. And then I don't know if y'all were watching the Boise State game, but it was an 18-point spread. I think they ended up winning by 17, but they left at least 20 points on the board. It was insane. I think they were shaving points. Genty didn't get 2 touchdowns for like probably the first or second time all season. Lost his second fumble inside the 5. They kept running the ball inside the 5 and then throwing it, and Maddox kept throwing it like 20 feet above everybody's head. Yeah,
I was at work yesterday. I didn't get to see anything fun.
Weird things happened on the Smurf turf there, gentlemen. But all right, well, we'll see what happens this week. And we got a rivalry week, of course, this weekend. We're going to start off with a game that we cannot legally bet here in the state of Virginia, but we do need to talk about that. Of course, is the Who's and the Hokies, Virginia Tech. So let's talk some bets. All right, both teams coming into this contest limping mightily, figuratively and literally, I believe, for Virginia Tech, because both of their quarterbacks are a little nicked up here. Both teams at 5-6. So the winner of the Commonwealth Cup gets to go to a bowl game, and by bowl, they'll probably be actually scrubbing a toilet bowl somewhere because both these teams are terrible. Virginia, of course, coming off getting smacked by SMU at home last week. I think I still have confetti in some of my clothing because apparently the SMU fans throw confetti when they score touchdowns. Did not know that. Also, I've never felt more poor in my life until sitting next to the SMU section. That's some old Texas money right there. And then Virginia Tech, of course, coming off the loss to Duke last week. So who's the Hokies squaring off tonight? It's going to be an 8 p.m. kick on the ACC network there. Of course, we cannot legally bet this game in the state of Virginia, so I haven't looked at the lines lately. But last time I saw, I think Virginia Tech was 7 to 7.5 point favorite,
7.
depending on the book. Okay, 7. All right, and then I think ESPN is saying over under right now of 48.5 points. So let's get into this one here, Scotty. I will start with you since you're our resident.
You guys go first. I want to take the.
You want to take the okay?
One. Yeah.
All right. Well, I will start things off on this. Virginia has not won in Blacksburg since 1998. I want you to think about that. 1990. Clinton was still in office, wasn't he? In 98. Yeah. Several presidencies have passed. Of course, Ahmad Hawkins, who I had the pleasure of conversing with last week in Charlottesville, legend of Virginia football, but of course getting the touchdown grab there to complete the comeback in 98. Listen, this Virginia team, we saw some good things over the last couple of weeks, and then the bottom kind of fell out against. I throw that Notre Dame game out because Notre Dame is just so good. They beat Pitt. They got whooped by Carolina. Played better in the second half a little bit against Clemson. They gave Louisville a fight, but they looked dead, lifeless, nothing offensively against SMU. Anthony Calandria got sacked 9 times in that SMU loss. 9 times. He was running for his life the entire time. If there's 2 things to do well, especially at home in Blacksburg, is always defense and special teams. I'm going to go with Virginia Tech until someone tells me otherwise. I don't like them in this rivalry. I always have a side in every rivalry. I always side with Virginia over Tech, but it's like Lucy and Charlie Brown in the football. Blacksburg just continues to pull that football away from Virginia each time. So I'm going to go with Virginia Tech -7. I honestly don't even think it's going to be that close. They'll probably beat them like 35-10 or something like that on a day that might be historically cold at kickoff down there.
It is cold outside. I can tell you that from experience, from trying to get fucking coffee this morning.
And you slept out there last night too, so.
I did have my window open. These bitches keep this shit fucking 80 degrees at night. It's insane. Anyways, after the Pitt game, I was very, very hopeful. We looked great. And then UNC happened. and I didn't know what the fuck was happening. So it hurts my soul. I don't see UVA being competitive in this game. They've gotten their soul snatched from them. It's going to be ugly. They're going to be shaking their keys like a bunch of
We're not the only one that does
morons in the stands. Nobody has anything else to do in Blacksburg. They're all going to be at the game. So Virginia Tech minus the 7 should be a pretty easy dub for them.
I really wanted you to pick UVA. This makes this next segment I'm doing less fun.
You just let the air out of Sky Sales, man.
But
Good.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Scotty.
But yeah, I simulated the game on College Football 25. This is definitely a simulation and not me playing on rookie mode. But let's see some of the highlights. Oh, let me get back. This was the first punt of many in the game. Again, definitely not me controlling the players on rookie mode.
By the way, ESPN has their chalkboard simulation. We got the Scotty simulation right here for Virginia Tech. I mentioned special teams.
And Tech would score on the next play there, but it didn't do a highlight of that. So let's go to the next big play. This is the next drive. Hopefully, whoever the quarterback is going to be doing a lot of this.
Yeah, I don't know if drones can stand up right now, so I don't know who. I think it's was it Pop Watson? I believe is the third string of Virginia Tech. He might get the start.
Good. He looked good. He's young, but and then it didn't do a highlight of the next play, which was Tootin hurdled a guy at the goal line from the 2-yard line. There's a Calandria. We'll be seeing some of this strong here.
That actually looks a lot like Anthony Calandria in real life in one of his passes there.
Getting a pick 6. There were some safeties involved, and then this is the last highlight here. This was late in the game. God damn it. Needed a security touchdown. I think it was probably like 84-0 here.
By the way, this is the tamest I've ever seen the Virginia Tech crowd. Usually when you have that much corn liquor coursing through your veins, it's a much more rowdy atmosphere there. But
corn liquor and meth. Oh, and he left.
And he just deleted himself.
He just fucking walk out.
He just got so excited. He just dropped the mic and walked out. A little premature pull out there, huh?
Max, if you don't scroll directly up, it takes you to the last page. I do have some stats real quick.
Okay, he's got some stats from his.
Do we need
101. 101.
I was trying to make it 100 even, but I kept getting safeties.
Were you playing? You were playing on rookie. Second. Was it 5-minute quarters? Because that would be very impressive.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
This, by the way, could have been the score of the Colorado game yesterday had they not called.
I mean, no, because I wasn't playing.
Total offense -1,
-1, -65 rush yards because college counts sacks. College counts sacks as rushing yards.
Rushing yards, yeah. So,
but he did win one stat here. Let me see, which is very impressive.
I love how
it wasn't all bad.
Scotty had a lot of free time on his hands, it looks like.
There you go. You won the time of possession.
Scotty. Jesus Christ.
Actually, I did this last night while I was watching the Georgia game. It's multitasking.
This is great.
So yeah, you won the time of possession.
There you go, Chris. Small battles, small wins.
And the kick return yards. You won that too.
I don't think it's going to be this bad. I promise.
So
yeah, Scotty, we'll cut it in half. 51-0.
I take it. Is that what you're going with? Is that your official pick there?
Yes, Virginia Tech -7. You mentioned UVA hasn't won in Blacksburg since '98. They haven't played in Blacksburg since 2020. So the fans have been waiting for this. The freshman class, this would be their only time getting to see them play UVA at home. So they're going to should be pretty nuts. Night game. You mentioned it was cold. Virginia Tech, big.
Okay. running all over them there. And the Commonwealth Cup will once again stay in Blacksburg as it has so many times. And I think if you're Virginia, if you end up finishing the season 5-7, and it's another embarrassing loss to Virginia Tech, I think if you're Carla Williams, you might have to start having some hard conversations about the football program and about Tony Elliott, who is a very nice gentleman and obviously guided them through some very tough times with that program and the tragedy. But at some point, you got to win football games, and it just has
I
not
think
happened.
they look like they're on the right path. I think he gets one more year, and we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, I don't think
This is his third year or second year.
him and Pry got hired at Virginia Tech the same year. So what is that? I think he's in his third year. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't. Yeah, yeah. Because I'm trying to think back. Yeah, because they didn't play in 22 because Virginia didn't finish the season because of the tragedy. And Scotty said it's their first trip back to Blacksburg since then. So yeah, well, we'll see what happens. That was Tony Elliott's first year. So yeah, he's in his third year there. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if you go back and look at this rivalry, though, I mean, like Virginia won in 2019, and that was their first win in the series since 2003. And both of those
Since
wins,
the 1 year that I went there, and I'm turning 40 in a couple months. So.
yeah. I mean, it really is remarkable. And you just go back and look at the results between these teams and just how bad some of these beatings have been. I remember the first Virginia Tech game I ever went to was 2005 in Charlottesville. And it was 52-14, and everyone just left the entire student section. I didn't even go to Virginia, and I'm by my lonesome pretty much in the student section. I got people I don't even know tapping me on the shoulder, offering me flask, like just you look like you might need this. Like, yeah, it was quite bad. And of course, the Algro alleged inside. That is not a sound you want to hear into the microphone there, Chris. Of course, the Algro like inside paint job with the T vandalized on the field. I think it was before like the '07 game. Those shenanigans have gone on in this series. Of course, what was it? '94 when Joe Geek, the trainer for Virginia, tried to trip Antonio Banks running down the sideline after a pick six. All the Hokie fans rushing the field in Charlottesville many times to celebrate their wins. Yeah, it's
You said
been good.
people were somebody gave you a flask. They drink liquor at UVA. What was it? Strawberry vodka?
This was old UVA. This was guys
Okay.
and ties, girls and pearls UVA still back then. It used to be like Ole Miss. You didn't win the game, but you win the tailgate. That scene's kind of dissipated a little bit in Charlottesville. There is less enthusiasm that I've ever seen. I think right now around Virginia football. So, all right,
Yeah.
well. We'll pull this one out here. So official prediction, I'm taking Tech -7. Scotty, you're on Tech -7. And Chris, you're going to begrudgingly on Tech -7 as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and bet Virginia, I guess, +7, ladies and gentlemen. But we can't do that. We can't do that legally in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So this is not an official pick for us because we can't legally bet on it. So if you have an offshore account or if you want to drive across the state lines, North Carolina, go ahead and knock yourself out there. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the picks for this week. Who would like to go first with their card?
Me.
You want to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Chris is going first here. I know I have this one on my card as well, so I will chime in. You have the game, simple as that. Michigan at Ohio State. Was it 3 straight? The Wolverines, I think, have won in this series as they travel to the shittiest little city in America, Columbus, Ohio, to take on the second-ranked Buckeyes. Ohio State laying 19.5, over under 42.5. That's a noon kick on Fox. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Gus Johnson to do a lot of screaming in this one here. So, Chris, the floor is yours.
Michigan, very disappointing, but expected this year. They lost Harbaugh. They lost their quarterback. They lost their best running back. The running back that they have, that they was supposed to be so good this year, has 585 fucking rushing yards on the season, something like that. He was on the cover of NCAA Football 25. Why? But it is the game. It's the biggest rivalry in college football. It's going to be closer than 19.5. There's no way Ohio State's beating them that bad. I don't know about the over-under, but I think Michigan's going to try and control the clock, keep it as close as possible. Michigan plus 19.5.
Going with the Wolverines. Look, one thing that's cool about this rivalry is I love this week. I love hate. I love it when two people say our way of life are different and we want to settle it on the football field. I love it. And Ohio State does not refer to Michigan as Michigan, of course, is the school up north. They cross out all the M's on academic buildings and streets and everything the week of the game. And then, of course, I saw on social media the Ohio State scout team, they taped up their helmets with maize and blue tape and did the tape job to make it look like Michigan helmets. And they had blue practice jerseys for the Ohio State scout team with maize numbers. So they were dressed like Michigan, looking like Michigan, so they could take out their frustrations on them. That's some hatred. I do like that. I don't know about the cover here, but I know we're going to go over that 42.5. I mean, both teams are physical. They can run the ball a little bit. But look, Ohio State's going to win this game comfortably. And if they have a chance later on, especially for Ryan Day, to exercise some demons, to twist that knife into the Wolverines a little bit, they're going to take it. So I'm going to go with that over 42.5. I think Ohio State might score 35, 40 points in this game. Michigan maybe gets a couple touchdowns. I think they might cover, but definitely going to go with that over 42.5. I think a couple late scores by the Buckeyes to leave no doubt, so to speak. I'm going to go with the over there.
Ryan Day has to win this game.
Oh, without a doubt.
If he loses, even if they're still in the playoff, does he keep his job through the playoff?
I think he keeps his job if he loses this game, but that seat is
4 in a row.
Which is crazy though if you think about it. I mean, look how consistent this team has been. They just can't beat Michigan, but I think he keeps his job. He probably goes in the next season like on the hottest seat in America, unless he wins the national championship in the playoff. That's an interesting conversation.
Does Ohio State want to win the national championship or beat Michigan this year?
I think it depends on the Buckeyes.
If it's got to be one or the other.
I think they want to beat Michigan. I really do. I think Ohio State would take a 1-11 season if that one win was over the maize and blue. I mean, this is just, we had clean old fashioned hate last night. This game takes hate to a different level. Like, I really think that it doesn't matter what happens in the world. If they beat Michigan, everything is good in that state.
I have this game on my card too. You mentioned all the things about covering the M's and all that to kind of keep that hatred going. Like you said, Michigan has won the last 3, and I think the revenge angle might be overblown here because Michigan is so bad this year. I don't think Ohio State really sees them as a threat. They're more thinking about revenge playing Oregon if they win this game. So obviously it's going to be somewhat heated, but I think Michigan's going to come in wanting to win this one more. They're not going to win the game, obviously, but I do think Michigan is going to keep it close. We've seen Ohio State play some closer games as of late, not counting Northwestern, which Michigan just blew out. So I think this is Michigan's Super Bowl. You would think this is Ohio State's, but I think they're looking forward to Oregon. I think they do enough to get the win, but I think Michigan covers the big number with the low total.
So we are all going Ohio. You're going Michigan plus 19.5. So then Chris and I are on Ohio State. Chris is on.
No, I'm on Michigan.
You're on Michigan. My brain. I'm sorry. I got hops on my brain. I'm dumb. All right. So you two are on Michigan, and I got the over 42.5 in this one here. All right. We'll see where that goes on Fox here. This game I have on a card a little bit later, so I will leave my thoughts on this one, recuse myself. But the Palmetto Bowl with South Carolina and Clemson, the rivalry that's full of so much hate that South Carolina, I want to say it was the 40s or the 50s, they once put out a T-shirt that had the they had the gamecock like riding the back of a tiger and like whipping it. the ROTC at Clemson was so enraged by this, they marched on the campus on Columbia with their rifles.
What the fuck?
This is hate, man. They both burned each other's mascots in effigy the week of the game. But anytime you have your ROTC marching on the rivals' campus with rifles, yeah, these two don't like each other. So Cox, Tigers, in-depth Valley, Clemson laying the 3.5, over under 48.5, noon on the mothership. Christopher, you have the floor.
So I'm on Clemson. Hopefully, when they come down that hill, nobody tears an ACL because they're going to be so amped up for the game. Clemson, kind of disappointing this year, but kind of overachieving based on the first week against Georgia. I don't know. Clemson at home, I don't know. I still don't think South Carolina's that good, as much as they've proven me wrong every time I bet against them this year. Give me Clemson minus the 3. They're at home. Big rivalry. A lot of hate. I watched Brawl earlier on YouTube from like 15, 20 years ago. It was great.
That was Lou Holtz's last game coaching the Gamecocks. Yeah, guys were like stepping on each other's heads and swinging helmets. And
yeah, it's great. So, yeah, hopefully the state troopers are ready. But, yeah, give me Clemson minus the 3.
Clemson minus 3 points. And you mentioned guys running down the hill. If I just want to see Dabo fall down the hill while he looks like a jackass running down the hill 3,000 miles an hour in front of everyone else by himself. Just one time. I want to see that boy, because he couldn't say the fucking words that boy. So that's how Dabo got his name. One time I want to see Dabo fall down that damn hill. Maybe this is the day. But Scotty, you go.
Yeah, I agree with Chris again, so that's not good. This is not on my card. But, yeah, Clemson at home should be a good game. I think I like Clemson and the under.
I'll share my thoughts on this one a little bit later, but I do like the under in this game. I feel like this will be a defensive struggle, but we'll talk about this one a little bit later. Then moving over, speaking of hate, one of my favorite rivalries from the 90s, always some fisticuffs before the game and pregame warm-ups. Florida and Florida State, but my, is life different now in this one.
Yuck.
Gators are looking good. They pulled off some upsets, and Billy Napier saved his job. They're hot right now, laying 17, going to Talacrappy to take on the Seminoles there. Florida State just limping along, got the win over Charleston Southern last week, with over-under is 45.5. 7 p.m. on the Deuce. And if you're a Florida State fan, your whole season has been a deuce. But I digress.
Yeah, Florida State, dog shit. Head coach, dog shit. Quarterback play, dog shit. Florida has turned it around. They were awful at the beginning. They're starting to play well. So Florida should win big. And because of that, I'm going Florida State plus 17 at home.
Okay, Florida State plus 17.
I'm kind of the opposite. I feel like Florida State should come out their last game of the season and try to salvage something and keep it close. But I just think they've been so bad. I just don't. Like, do they even want to play football anymore? I don't know. I think Florida's going to beat them by 20 plus.
The Noles have won the last 2 in this rivalry. Before that, Florida have won the last 3. Before that, I think Florida State have won the last 5. This rivalry has been very streaky, going back over the last decade or so. Listen, Billy Napier's boys have turned things around. DJ Lagway, if they can keep him in the offseason and not, go anywhere else, they're recruiting well right now. Florida State, by the way, last one in the recruiting class, turn off the lights because everyone's bailing right now in that recruiting class. Things look bleak in the short term and the long term right now in Tallahassee. I think Florida is going to exercise some demons. Like I said, they've lost 2 in a row. They want to make them pay. I like Gators big time in this one. Big time. This might be the ugliest game of the day, in my opinion. All right. So the recap here on Chris's card. Chris, Ohio State, Michigan.
Michigan plus 19.5.
Palmetto Bowl.
Clemson minus 3.
And then against better judgment, you're taking Florida State plus the 17 here.
Plus the 17. Let's go.
All right. So next up, Scotty, you want to go?
Sure.
All right. You already had Michigan, Ohio State on your card, and you had
Michigan plus 19.5.
Michigan in the 19, and then a little Oklahoma heading down to Baton Rouge. Tigers laying 6 over under 47.5. 7 p.m. kick on ESPN. Brian Kelly, by the way, seat getting hotter and hotter, and those Cajuns are not happy with him down there. Should be an electric atmosphere because those Cajuns have been off work for Thanksgiving. They've been drinking, they've been eating. I'm sure the tailgating is going to be great. It's, of course, it's a night game in Baton Rouge, so yeah, people watching, I'm sure it's amazing down there, but you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, Oklahoma is coming off just that beautiful beatdown of Alabama last week. So I think they're in for a huge letdown spot here. So I'll be fading them. I'm taking LSU minus the 6 here. There's one thing that Brian Kelly can do. He wins as a home favorite. I have a stat I got from Action Network. As a home favorite of less than 7, he is 28, 11, and 3 against the spread. It doesn't get much better than that. Add in the fact that it's a night game. Like you said, the fans are going to be going crazy. Brian Kelly probably needs to win this one. I think LSU's going to win big. Oklahoma's been playing better, but they're just due for a letdown after last week. Give me LSU.
LSU. I kind of like this one too. It's a classic letdown spot, as you said. Listen, I don't care how streaky LSU is or how bad they're playing. Night games in Baton Rouge are not in an atmosphere that you want to be a opposing player in. It's something special about LSU at home at night. They just tap into that energy. The band's going to start playing neck, and they're going to tell you what to do with the Tiger's phallus while they sing the words to that song. Chris is looking at me all. You don't know what they say doing that.
Maybe
I remember what Pat McAfee was getting them to yell.
I was going to say maybe McAfee can figure it out one day what they're saying.
Yeah, that was great. By the way, I'm Brian Kelly coaching. Honestly, I think coaching saved his job because LSU is not afraid to pull the trigger and make a move. He's starting to really wear out his welcome down there, but I think he needs this one. And Oklahoma's in the classic letdown spot, even though they've figured out how to use Jackson Arnold more efficiently now under center. And I think Brent Venables is getting that defense dialed in, and that's what his specialty is. But I like the Tigers at home minus the 6 points.
I don't care about this game. What I do care about is what LSU fans eat for Thanksgiving. Do they have turkey or do they eat raccoons?
Well, whatever it is, it's deep fried.
I'd say a turcoon instead of a
turcoon. A turcoon. The finest.
Well, deep fried possum, maybe.
Yeah, the finest roadkill from the swamps of Louisiana, all over the tables across the bayou.
Redneck trash. Go Oklahoma.
That's Chris, and let's not do this podcast.com.
Right.
Well, never mind. They're Cajuns. They probably don't have computers. That's okay. So, Chris going taking LSU minus the 6 there.
No. Scotty's taking LSU.
Oh, Sky's taking LSU minus the 6. I'm sorry. I have a brain problem. It's called alcohol. All right. Next up on Scotty's card here, you and I share this one, Scotty. So I'll be giving my pick on this one too. One of my favorite rivalries of all time. It is finally back. Texas A&M going back to Kyle Field, the number 3 Longhorns and the number 20 Aggies. Texas laying the 4.5. Over under is 48.5. 7:30 tonight. ABC, ESPN Plus. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, the winner of this one plays Georgia in the SEC championship game, but I'm taking Texas A&M with the points. I do think that they have a motivation advantage here. I know that sounds crazy to say in a rivalry game that's basically a semifinal to the conference championship, but Texas A&M has to win this one and beat Georgia to get in the playoff, most likely. Texas, they're going to be fine even if they lose this game. So I do think Texas A&M has that factor there. I've talked last week about how Texas hasn't really been that impressive since Ewers came back from injury. They haven't beat a currently ranked team all year. And even their wins against halfway decent teams, they played them when they were at their worst, basically. So I really don't know how good Texas is. We talked about rivalry night games. The only thing I'm worried about is A&M coming off that emotional overtime loss to Auburn last week, but you're getting up for this one. They have everything on the table. They hate Texas. Night game, their weird fans are going to be going crazy. Wouldn't be surprised if A&M wins this one outright. So I'm definitely taking the 4.5. Wait, is it 4.5 or 5.5? Did it move?
It moved to 4.5. I noticed on your graphic you had the 5, but right before the show started, I was putting in my line and moved to 4.5 on ESPN. So
I'm gonna double check that while you're doing your analysis.
I'm gonna go gig 'em right here. Those by God Texas Aggies. I do like them. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit outright, but I'm definitely gonna take them plus the 4.5 points. These two teams have not played in football since November 24th, 2011. Who was the Texas kicker that had the walk-off field goal that day in College Station? One Justin Tucker. That's how long ago these teams last played. The Justin Tucker was a T-sip from Austin. Listen, A&M hates Texas more than they like breathing. Okay. This is one of my favorite rivalries in the country. When I think about Thanksgiving, this game is one of the first things that comes to mind. It used to be a Black Friday game for a while when I was a kid. There was nothing better about getting that leftover turkey sandwich and watching R.C. Slocum lead the by God Texas Aggies to a win over those T-Sips. I'm going to take Texas A&M plus the 4.5. I think they just wanted more. Honestly, I think the fact that they haven't played since 2011. Obviously they have the rotating quarterback problem with Marcel Reed, and then I forget the other kid's name off the top of my head. Quarterback play is going to be important to them, but the emotion, the fan cowl field is a great place at night. They're going to have the fan support there. They're going to be jacked up for this. They've been wanting this. Even when they switched conferences, they wanted to play Texas. Texas wanted no part of it. Now they have to do it because Texas has made the move to the SEC. A&M wants this. If you're a Texas Aggie, this is what you want. This is what everything in your world. If they don't beat Texas, nothing else matters this year. I'm going with A&M plus the 4.5. Gig them. And you know what? Hopefully they fry Bevo's ass on the sideline afterwards.
Is that how long Texas A&M's been in the SEC?
Texas A&M 2011? 2012 was the first year. 2011 was the last. Yeah. So they've been in the SEC since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I have thoughts on this game a little bit later.
Okay. Chris will have some thoughts here. All right. So the recap for Scotty here on your card real quick. Ohio State, Michigan for the third time. You had
Michigan plus 19.5.
And then Oklahoma, LSU.
LSU minus 6.
And then Texas and Texas A&M.
Texas A&M plus the 4.5. That line was at 5.5 like an hour ago. So that thing is moving.
Moving.
Oil money coming in.
Yes, coming in hot. All right, so the recap for me here, Michigan, Ohio State. I'm going to go over the 42.5 here. And then another game, talk about the hate. The Iron Bowl, Auburn and Alabama. By the way, I'm sure Nick Saban is saying miss me yet. Because Kalen DeBoer and his tenure right now in year one, we knew he wasn't going to be Nick Saban, but I don't think anyone expected Alabama to drop some of the games that they've dropped so far. But the Tide laying 10.5, over under is 52.5, 3:30 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. By the way, I hate that this game is on ABC, ESPN. This is 3:30 CBS. It should be Uncle Vern on the call. I'm going to lament this until the day I go to my grave, these SEC games being in there.
Vern Lundquist still alive?
Yeah, Uncle Vern is still alive. He's a national treasure. We must protect this man at all costs.
Are you sure? All right, let's play. Is he alive?
Yeah, Uncle Vern is still alive.
Is this our third installment?
Is he alive? I would know. Trust me. If Uncle Vern was no longer with us, I would be in mourning right now. Still.
Is he calling Big Ten games now?
I have not watched many Big Ten games like most of America on CBS because they've seen how somehow gets the shittiest game like each week for the Big Ten on there. So I have not seen those games. I think he might be retired. I think he's just doing like the Masters, though. He might have done his last Masters this past year, but he's still with us. Were you able to confirm that, Scotty?
Yes, yes.
Okay, he is still with us. All right, so Iron Bowl here. Listen, Auburn has had their ups and downs this year. A lot of it's been related to quarterback play. Peyton Thorne, he's nothing special, but the Michigan State transfer has looked better. As the season has gone on, they're 5-6 right now. Hey, they almost knocked off Bama in the end of the game into the season last year. Listen, you got to throw out the records whenever these two get together. Obviously, Auburn coming off the emotional win over A&M 43-41 last week. Now you go into Tuscaloosa. I think that 10.5 number is a little big. I don't think anything about Alabama scares this Auburn team right now. Obviously, you got freshman linebackers talking shit from Auburn. Jalen Milroe said, like, we'll see how it is out in the field or something along those lines. I think a lot of this hinges on what Jalen Milroe are you going to get for the Tide. Are you going to get the good Jalen? You're going to get the bad Jalen. I don't have a lot of faith in him being the good Jalen for a full 60 minutes here. I'm going to take the Tigers plus the 10.5 here. Also, the University of Alabama told me to go fuck myself once. So I'm taking Auburn plus the 10.5.
Well, fair.
In fairness, a lot of universities have told me to go fuck myself. So
I kind of like Bama. I almost put it on my card. But this is a heated rivalry. You never know what's going to happen. But the last 2 games, Alabama's played them at home. They've blown them out. They still have an outside shot at the playoff. So if they are up, they might go for some style points at the end. But yeah, I'm not putting it on my card.
No, you don't have a leaning, a hunch, a feeling.
No, I said Alabama minus the 10.5.
Oh, okay. I missed you. Sorry, Christopher.
Don't ever say you missed me ever again.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you drinking? The Coors Light?
No, this is the Powder Day IPA by Sierra Nevada. Right now, earlier we were drinking the Cryo Fresh Torpedo IPA by Sierra Nevada. As you can tell, I bought a Sierra Nevada variety pack.
There you go. Sponsor us.
Yeah, I still got one of their Oktoberfest in my fridge. I need to
beautiful Asheville, North Carolina. Please make a comeback. They got the brewery there. Hopefully all is well with the recovery efforts down there. But Christopher, you what do you think about this?
Yeah, I don't know. Auburn coaching sucks. Quarterback play has sucked. Gotten better over the year. Coach still terrible human being, and I think he shouldn't have a job. Alabama has been disappointing at points, but I honestly, this is the first year for DeBoer. I think they're going to be just fine. I wouldn't hate to see Auburn put the final nail in the coffin so we don't have to hear about Alabama for the rest of the year. That'd be nice because I'm sick of them. Saban, stay retired. Please never come back. So, yeah, let's go over 52.5. Let's hope for a good, fun, high-scoring game with no defense. That'd be the best thing for me today.
I don't hate that, and I don't know why, but I kind of feel overtime vibes for this game. Maybe it's just because of Georgia Tech last night. I don't know, but I kind of feel overtime vibes here with something weird happening and hitting that. I don't hate that over, but I feel overtime vibes. So, all right, well, we'll see. All right, so recap on my end here: Michigan, Ohio State. I got the over 42.5 Iron Bowl here. I am taking Auburn plus the 10.5. And then in the Lone Star Showdown, I'm taking the by God Texas Aggies plus the 4.5. Whoop, or whatever they do. Hopefully they won't be grabbing your nuts. Have you heard about the Corps Cadets? They used to have a thing where they would like grab their nuts and squeeze because they wanted to like feel the pain that the football team was feeling on the field. Texas A&M is a weird place.
Yeah,
it's a weird place.
I still don't know what their little pep rallies or whatever, what any of that stuff's supposed to mean.
Oh, with the
or what weirdo came up with it. Yeah,
all that shit. Hey, all I know is I love their mascot. Rivalry is a beautiful border collie, and apparently, if you bring her to class, if she barks, class is dismissed. If you're one of the Corps Cadets and Rivalry sleeps in your bed, Revelry sleeps in your bed, and you must sleep on the floor. And the first lady of college football also flies first class with Texas A&M. So anyone that treats a dog that well, and I'm a dog guy, is a winner in my book. So. All right,
All
so
right.
let's move over to the National Football League here, Chris. I will start with you. This game is disgusting. May God have mercy on your soul for putting this on your card. The Indianapolis Colts head to New England. This was once a game that had Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Now we have, was it Drake May and Anthony Richardson if he's not too tired. Colts laying 2.5 points, over under 42.5 tomorrow, 1:00 on CBS.
Not sure why I picked this game. I think I was in a rush to send my picks in. But I'm going with the Patriots at home, plus 2.5. Colts, not very good. Anthony Richardson, really bad. Drake May, serviceable. So yeah, Pats plus 2.5.
Okay. By the way, not to interrupt here, but on College Game Day, I just saw a gentleman drop to one knee and propose, and apparently his girlfriend just said yes.
Where are they at?
I believe
That's not going to work out.
and they're in Texas A&M, and a really romantic setting because there was a New Mexico Lobos flag right behind them, and right under it a state of New Mexico flag. Because when I think romance, I think New Mexico Lobos flag in the background. Big matzo ball that you're tossing out there. You know, if someone says no, and you're on national TV, I mean, like, you're kind of forcing that girl to say yes at that point, right?
I'm surprised it was a female for a Texas A&M fan.
I don't know, Chris. Have you ever been to College Station? I don't think it was going to go any other way. I'm just gonna
If they're
out
chanting
They
and
didn't-
doing the things they do, it's
I was going to say they didn't have the pep rally weirdos do like a presentation before he proposed, did he?
No. The yell leaders were nowhere to be seen there. Maybe he did take her to midnight yell practice last night because you do kiss your date at midnight yell practice. So
this place is
Silly.
just a wonderland of pathetic human beings.
hey, they used to call it Sing Sing on the Brazos, Texas
I
A&M.
don't know
But
what that means.
what?
I don't know what that means.
Sing Sing was a prison, and the Brazos is a river, so they used to call it Sing Sing on the Brazos. I'd rather be in Sing Sing than watch this game, Chris. Patriots and Colts, just utterly disgusting. I hope NFL Red Zone stays the hell away from. I know they'll stay the hell away from
I'm
this.
sure they won't have a whole lot to deal with.
Yes, because it'll require points. One team has Jonathan Taylor, the other team does not. That's the difference for me. I like Indy minus 2.5 here.
Also, it's late November. I assume there's going to be some kind of weather or very cold. Anthony Richardson not allowed to wear a jacket out on the field, so he might take himself out to warm up a couple plays.
Do you remember? I forget who Virginia Tech was playing, but when Hendon Hooker was still at Virginia Tech, and he was like literally like shaking on the sideline for a game. I felt really bad. I didn't know if he was having a seizure or what was going on, but I've never seen a kid shiver on the sideline like that before. Obviously, he went to Tennessee and figured life out after that, as most people figure their lives out after they leave Blacksburg. But yeah.
Just like our friend Scotty.
Yeah. Well, has he figured life out? Has he? Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Hey, he's on a show with us. Of course he has.
All right,
like and subscribe, everybody.
I want to show that struggles to get over 60 views every week. I got everything figured out.
For now.
You gotta start small somewhere.
We're gonna blow. We're gonna blow up soon.
You're gonna blow. You're gonna blow some. Yeah.
That'll probably get views.
Yeah.
That might be more
OnlyFans.
Never mind.
Hey,
OnlyFans. Let's not do this. OnlyFans coming soon.
Jesus Christ.
Only
Let's
bets.
not do this.
Only bets.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. Jim Rome used to make up traffic when he was on the nifty 650 out in like San Diego. He used to literally make up traffic incidents back in the day. So you got to start somewhere.
Right.
Colts minus 2.5.
I like the Patriots and the over. Let's move past this game.
Yes, please. Little AFC North showdown here, which, by the way, the AFC North edition of Hard Knocks should be debuting here soon, following the whole division. But Steelers, Bengals, Cincy laying 3.5 in the jungle there in Cincinnati, over under 47.5, 1 p.m.
3.5 or 3?
I mean 3. I'm sorry, I can't read.
3. Okay.
Yeah, it's 3. I can't read. And I've
right.
also now switched to the other half. This is the what is this? The blue crab, the blue crab from other half in the beautiful, shitty New York City. But go on.
Does it have Old Bay?
I does
It's
not
from
have
New York. It's
Old
not
Bay.
from
Yeah,
Baltimore.
no, other half is from New York. They also have a brewery in Philadelphia and one in DC as well.
Why
Very
is it
good.
the blue crab? Do they have blue crabs in New York?
No, if there were crabs that were coming out of the water in New York City, I would not eat them, sir. I would not eat them.
But you're
But
drinking them.
no, there's no crab in the beer. It's just the name
You
of the
love
beer.
crabs in your mouth. It's fine.
I do like Old Bay. But anyway, go on.
Not sure why I picked this game either. This is a weird one. Steelers are playing well. Bengals have been very disappointing. Joe Burrow has been amazing, though. So, not taking a side. Let's go over 47.5. Russ is going to throw about 5 moon balls to Pickens. Joe Burrow is going to continue to roll. Over 47.5.
Hopefully George Pickens will be catching passes and not trying to have fisticuffs as the
That guy
game
likes
is
to
coming
fight.
to an end.
That guy's nuts.
Hey,
What is the deal with elite receivers and Steelers going crazy?
It really is. Like they really something. If you're a Steelers wide receiver, something just isn't like wired right in your brain. Like
Like they have a type.
yeah, I think the last one was Hines Ward. I mean, he's a decent human being, but the rest are just a little crazy.
Well,
you
he
know?
started off as a quarterback, so
Oh, that's very true. That's very true. All right, so you're going. Where are you going on this one again?
over 47.5.
Over 47.5 with Steelers Bengals. I like the exact opposite of this. I like the under 47.5. It's a divisional game. I haven't looked at the weather reports in Cincinnati, but I'm sure it's going to be cold. These two teams know each other. It's always a hard hitting rivalry. I think Chris Boswell's toe is going to keep Pittsburgh in this game. I think Pittsburgh actually might win this outright, but this is going to be like a 20-13, 20-17 kind of game. I'm going under 47.5. And don't
Joe
be
Burrow's
surprised.
going to throw for 500 yards.
Joe Burrow's going to get strip sacked by TJ Watt at some point during this game. You can go ahead and put that down. He's going to make a big turnover. Pittsburgh's defense is opportunistic, man. I like the way they play defense. If they can just run the goddamn football effectively and stop being so cute and get back to classic Steeler football with good defense and running the ball, they might be a little bit more positioned for a long-term run in the playoffs here. But should be a good one. But I like the under here.
Yeah, this is a weird one. The line, Vegas wants you to take the Steelers plus the 3. That is a weird number. So that leads me to take the Bengals, but then also Mike Tomlin as an underdog is really good. I don't know. I'll probably just look. If I had to pick, I'd pick the Bengals -3, but I might look at player props on this one.
Okay. And then next up, another game I'm really intrigued on here. We have, and Chris, I had this on my card as well, so I'll give my thoughts on this afterwards. But we have Philadelphia traveling south down 95 to the shitty city of Baltimore, where you can buy a house for a price of a VCR, probably on the west side of the city.
And get you some blue crabs.
Yes, get you some. That's something that they are good at. Go to Jimmy's and get you some blue crabs there. That's the best thing about that city. They closed my goddamn Hooters on the Inner Harbor, but I digress. Ravens laying 3.5 points. Excuse me, 3 points. 3 points.
Jesus,
over under
man.
51.5. I'm something. Over under 51.5. 425 CBS. By the way, a matchup of the two people that are probably the top contender for MVP right now, in Saquon Barkley and Lamar Jackson. So we'll see how they go head to head in this one. But
Josh
Chris,
Allen.
Josh Allen as well. I do forget about him. But you have the floor here.
Yeah, Eagles are rolling. And the Ravens kind of iffy lately. They've gotten away from Derrick Henry a little bit. Look for a heavy dose of Derrick Henry today. To show that he is still the best running back in the NFL. Fuck Saquon Barkley. Fuck the Eagles. Give me the Ravens -3. They should win by 10 points.
I am going to go Philadelphia plus the 3 points here, and it pains me to say this. I think Justin Tucker misses a key kick.
He better not.
He's.
I just picked him up in fantasy this week.
Well, I'm glad you said that. The fact that Justin Tucker was available in fantasy tells you everything you need to know about the season that he's having. He's no longer the most accurate kicker in NFL history. That's somehow, some way goes to Eddie Pinheiro right now. And of course, I've seen tons of Panthers sites and stuff posting about it because they have to feel good about something down there. But yes, Eddie Pinheiro, now the most accurate kicker in NFL history. But Justin Tucker has always kept them in games. He's always been clutch. Maybe it's age, maybe it's something mechanical, maybe it's something in his brain. I don't know. But I feel like a close Justin Tucker field goal miss is going to be the difference in this one. I kind of like the under on this one. I feel like both teams are going to have a heavy dosage of running the ball. But I like Philadelphia plus the 3 points here. Saquon is just a beast. Every time I go back and see that clip from Hard Knocks of them saying, if Saquon goes to Philadelphia, we're going to have a hard time sleeping. I knew it was going to work. I didn't know it was going to work as well as it has right now. I mean, that guy's been nothing short of incredible for Philadelphia. And Nick Sirianni, by the way, a guy who was on the hot seat. I think a lot of Eagle fans wanted to run him out of town. He's not looking so bad right now. So I like Philly plus the 3 points.
Yeah, I got this game on my card too. Sirianni's first time facing Lamar Jackson. Lamar usually does pretty well in those scenarios. We all know his number of being 23-1, I think it is now against the NFC. I'm going with the Ravens. They need this game more. They're a half game back of Pittsburgh, who they lost to. The Eagles could probably run the wing tee for the rest of the year and win the NFC East the way the rest of that division's looking. Give me the Ravens at home. Lamar, NFC team, first time against Sirianni. Give me the Ravens -3.
Ravens minus the 3 points here. Okay. And then to finish life up here for Christopher, on your card, you have – well, that is it.
That was
is
3 games.
All 3. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at my card.
You are just –
I'm off today, man.
Thanksgiving fucked you up, man.
Bro, I was telling Scotty before we went on air, since Wednesday night, the only non-alcoholic drink that I've had has been a Seagram's ginger ale. Oh, and I did drink tonic water last night by itself.
Ew.
I'm an old man. I like tonic. Yeah. Leave me alone.
Let's not think about Wednesday night. That was.
I was with these two idiots Wednesday night. That's a story for another day.
That's not a story that's going to be on air.
No. All right, so going over to my card here, I'll go ahead and take the reins here next. Of course, I had Baltimore and Philadelphia. You just heard me say take Philadelphia plus the 3 points here. The Washington Commanders laying 5.5 points at home, taking on the Tennessee Titans. Over under 44.5, 1 p.m. on CBS. Don't know if former esteemed radio host of 106.7 The Fan in DC, Chad Dukes, will be there. Probably not. Was a lifelong Redskins fan, now claims to be a lifelong Titans fan, but that's a story for another day. But listen, it was fun. I think Scotty summed it up. It was fun for the first 7 weeks of the season for you guys. I think it was before the wheels started to come off the wagon a little bit.
7 or 8.
Yeah. For the Commanders, listen, the key to Washington right now is you have to go back to what was working, and that's Jaden Daniels. Just turn him loose and let him make plays. That guy is his creativity, his arm, his ability to escape. You have to rely on him to make plays. Will Levis has actually been slinging it a little bit for the Titans. And was Westbrook Akine and what was the tight end? Akonko. I'm just going to call him O. I'm going to call him OK. The tight end OK has been more than OK over the last couple of weeks for them. I feel like we're going to see points in the shittiest football stadium in America here. Give me the over 44.5 here. I actually think this is going to be one of the better games of the NFL slate. Should be really entertaining. I'm looking for a high-scoring game. I think Washington gets the win, but I'm going to go over 44.5 here.
Yeah, I got this game on my card too. Bet with your brain, not with your heart. I am concerned about our offense. Kingsbury offenses this time of year, going all the way back to college, kind of start to fizzle out here. So I am kind of worried the way we've looked the last couple of weeks. Look at the Titans; they're 2-9 against the spread this year, which I would imagine it's probably the worst in the league, but they've been in just about every game. And then Levis just does something idiotic that blows the game in the cover. But they just upset the Texans, so maybe Levis is turning a corner a little bit. As long as he doesn't do something insane to turn this game to a blowout, I think they're going to cover. I think the Commanders. I think we win the game, but I think the Titans cover. I think it's going to be an ugly game. Maybe it just gets over that number, but yeah, I'm looking for some more struggles for the offense. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I can pull the reverse jinx and we come out and blow them out. But yeah, Commanders win, but I'm taking the Titans with the points.
Okay. And hey, wasn't it this week they were saying that I think I saw some reports get lost in the Thanksgiving news shuffle that the Commanders are working with the NFL to like unban the name Redskins and the logo and stuff. Maybe some throwback stuff is on the horizon.
I have heard something. I didn't know if it was real or not because fans have been on Twitter talk about that every week since they changed the name.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, I did see some of that.
I'm going to take some positive juju away from that one here. Chris, your thoughts?
I hope, for the sake of my sanity, that Brian Robinson stays healthy this week. Running backs have been dropping like flies. Eckler got another concussion last week. That looked scary.
Yeah.
Was that a punt return or a kickoff return?
The last, at the very end.
Health has not been on our side as far as running backs go. This is second concussion for Eckler this year. Robinson's been in and out of the lineup. I think that is where we've been going wrong. We haven't been able to run the ball consistently. You said let Jaden Daniels cook, but it's all based on the running game, and it evolves from there with play action and the RPO and all that shit. So we need to get back to basics, run the ball. The Titans aren't good, so I don't see why we can't run the ball against them. Maybe get McNichols involved a little bit. He was very good in the first few weeks. So as a hopeful Commanders fan, I'm hoping that the Commanders cover, control the game from start to finish. No fucking stupid special teams plays this week, please. Jesus Christ.
Can we stop putting UVA players back to field punts?
Shut the fuck up.
Right?
They won't stop. Yeah, but then Malik Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't allow 2 fucking kickoff returns for touchdowns either. So relax. Okay. So get it together. This is a get right game. The Titans suck. The Commanders have more talent. I think they're better coached. So let's prove it this week. Commanders -5.5.
I think Commanders -5.5. There's what you're going with. Scotty, you got thoughts on this one?
This is his game.
Oh,
I just went through a whole thing.
Titans. I had this game. I'm sorry.
Commanders win. Titans cover.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the alcohol. Leave me alone. Okay, this is bullying. This is
you need to get that spatchcocked turkey, soak up some of that alcohol you got.
That turkey was amazing. By the way, we had brisket too. Oh God, it was amazing.
Got any sausage balls left?
No. Those went quickly. Especially my jalapeno cheddar sausage balls. It's a specialty of mine. I'll make you some more next time you come over to the house. I'll make some more.
Coming over this afternoon.
I don't know about that. All right. Next up on my card here to close things out. Of course, I went with Philadelphia +3. And then to close things out here, the Niners and the Bills. Buffalo laying 6 points over under 44.5, 8:20 tomorrow night on NBC and Peacock. The Bills, by the way, we're looking for volunteers of Bills Mafia to shovel out the stadium. Yeah, so if you want to make, $7.25 an hour shuffling snow at Highmark Stadium.
Do they get tickets too?
I don't think they get tickets. I think you just get to help the ball club. You know what I mean? I mean, like get a few bucks there. But it's supposed to be really bad. The lake effect snow warning is in effect until I think 7 o'clock on Sunday, which is about 90 minutes ahead of that kickoff at 8:20. I think they're expecting about 10 to 20 inches of snowfall around the Buffalo area. I saw pictures yesterday of some of the Bills players that were like already had snow on top of their cars and stuff, and they were like digging things out. Listen, they're built for this. They're built different up there. These people are going to be loaded drunk.
Oh yeah.
The Bills fans are people after my own heart. They're going to be jumping through tables in the snow, shooting ketchup and mustard all over each other. It's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. Do we know what Brock Purdy's status is for this game? Are we going to see Brandon Allen? Is Brock Purdy healthy? Is he on the injury report? They have 49ers have injury questions across the board there. Christian McCaffrey's played the last couple of weeks, but he hasn't looked like the same Christian McCaffrey so far. I don't have a lot of faith in them right now until they get healthy. Listen, Buffalo, you give me Buffalo at night, at home, in a snow game with Josh Allen. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills minus the 6. I don't have a lot of analysis on this. It's Buffalo at home in a snow globe at night. Going with Bills Mafia.
Yeah, Purdy is playing. So
Okay.
I'm surprised that line didn't move down. I guess maybe they knew he was playing all along. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. The Bills, I kind of like the maybe wait to bet it, but the over. I think this total might come down a little bit. People overreact to the weather. I don't think it's going to have that much of an effect. But yeah, the Bills should take care of business. 49ers just haven't been good.
Christopher?
Yeah, 49ers, their season's pretty much over. Give me the Bills minus 6.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so put your money on Niners plus 6 since we're all in agreement on this one. But yeah, no, I'm about as confident as I've been about any NFL game this year. Buffalo covering that 6 points in that snow globe up there. Man, nothing goes better with chicken wings than a bunch of snow, right? That'd be great.
Sure.
All right. Then Scotty, your NFL card here. You already had Titans, Commanders. You were going with
Titans plus 5.5.
And then on the Eagles, Ravens, you went
Ravens minus 3.
And then the Texans and the Jaguars. This is gross. Doug Peterson watch continues in Jacksonville. Texans minus 3.5 there, over under 44.5, 1 p.m. on Fox. Literally, I have family in town from Northeast Florida right now. They say the vibes are not good down there right now with the football team, and literally, I think everyone's waiting for the collective axe to fall on Doug Peterson's head. So, Scotty, you're up here.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to wait at least another week for that. I'm taking the Jaguars plus the 3.5 points.
Ooh, you're jagging off.
Sure. I think they're going to actually think they're going to win this game outright. Peterson, as a home dog, is 17-7 against the spread. It's about as good as that gets. We've talked on this show many times about the Texans as a favorite. They're 3-6 this year against the spread as a favorite, and the Jaguars are 5-2 as a dog. Yeah, Texans just aren't looking very good right now. Jaguars, like I said, coming off that bye division game, they have to win this one. I think they're going to come out pissed off. They're not as bad as their record says they are. They're not great, but I just think the Jaguars show up for this one. Lawrence has a good game, and Texans continue to struggle. Maybe the Texans win, but I think the Jaguars stay inside the number, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win outright.
Trevor Lawrence having the worst year of his career since his rookie year back in 21. He's averaging like 222 a game, like 61% of his passes completed or something like that. He is expected to come back this week and play. Of course, he's been out since prior to that Week 12 loss with the shoulder injury. Certainly, that'll give them a lift over seeing, Mac Jones under center there in Jacksonville, the Jacksonville native. I kind of like the over. in this one here. Really don't have a lot of intel on this game. Didn't really look at this one a lot, but I agree with what you said about Houston. I think Jacksonville kind of hangs around, but I do kind of feel the over on this one. If nothing other than like this gut reaction on this, but I don't have a ton on this one.
I need a huge game from C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins. So Texans plus -3.5 blowout. It's going to look like the Lions game. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, fuck Brock Bowers, by the way. I was off to a good start in fantasy.
Then it all went downhill. Which, Scotty, I have you in fantasy this week, so you'll be my latest victim, as I am your overlord in this week, in this league right now. Hey, let me crow, let me poke my chest out. You can go ahead and start inscribing my name on that trophy, and I'll hit you with my theme music for when we have the fantasy draft next year.
We don't have to let you poke your chest out. Your tits are already out.
Fuck you. Even more so after the turkey and the brisket and everything else. But fuck
Ravens
you.
Ravens are shutting down Saquon.
That's right. Let's go.
All right.
Your meal ticket's gone this week.
All right. So the recap, you got the Jags plus a 3.5.
Yep.
All right. So that concludes the NFL portion of today's schedule. Then, of course, we have our underdog parlay, which hit last week, by the way.
Yeah.
We told you we were getting close.
Let's make it 2 in a row
On this, so let's go ahead and make it 2 in a row, as Scotty said. I'm trying not to bring in the thing and reveal it. Here we go. All right, so our underdog parlay here. I guess I will start things off since I'm first here. The Palmetto Bowl in Clemson. South Carolina's front seven is nasty. They get after the quarterback. I'm not completely sold on Cade Klubnik, the Clemson quarterback there. They're going to put him under duress. He's going to make a mistake. I love Lenore Sellers, South Carolina quarterback. He's not going to be an NFL quarterback, but he's a good college quarterback. He's fun. He's exciting. He's elusive. And they have a guy on that team, Rocket Sanders, is one of my favorite players in college football. He had the touchdown last week in their big win. I love the way he plays the game. Give me the Cox money line. They're going to be crowing. Shane Beamer has got those boys ready to go. Go Cox. South Carolina money line getting the win there in Tiger Town. All right. And by the way, those dumbass Clemson fans are at home, so they don't have to worry about giving their $2 bills to people. Fucking idiots. They can go drown their sorrows at the goddamn Esso Club that hopefully will be taken over by Cox. Get that sandstorm going. I hope somebody sneaks in a boombox or a golf speaker or something. Let's get some sandstorm going in Death Valley, the Fakakta Death Valley this afternoon. Go Cox. Speaking of
times you gonna say Cox?
Well, speaking of a man that loves the Cox, Scotty, you're up here.
You spelled Cincinnati wrong.
No, I didn't. I was literally. I had like a heart palpitation there for a second.
I know. I saw it. That was worth it. But yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati against TCU. Nobody is going to be watching this game, but Cincinnati's playing for a bowl game. They started 5-2, and they were coming off a win against Arizona State, and then they lost 4 in a row. TCU's beat a lot of bad teams in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Cincinnati's lost to a lot of good teams. I think Cincinnati's just due for a win at home to become bowl eligible, and TCU's due for a loss.
By the way, I love that it's rivalry week, and he went with the Cincinnati TCU game.
There's no bigger rivalry in college football.
Storied history of Cincinnati and TCU. Tens of people. Maybe they were in Conference USA once at the same time. Maybe I think back to they both changed conferences more often than Chris changes his underwear. So who knows? Speaking of Chris, on his card here, Texas A&M.
Yep. Big rival. It's a one-sided rivalry. Texas really doesn't give a fuck about Texas A&M. They're the little brother. They got the little brother syndrome. They got the homoerotic chants that they got going on. It's going to be a madhouse. They're fucking weird. They're going to be loud. And Texas A&M wants to play in the SEC championship. They don't want to see Texas go to the SEC championship in their first season, especially after they left the Big 12 to get away from Texas. They hate Texas. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, super gay all around, and Texas A&M is going to win. Gig 'em Aggies.
Gig 'em. Go with the gig 'em. Gig 'em Aggies. By the way, Scotty picked Cincinnati over TCU. That's where the gig 'em comes from with A&M. I forget what year it was, but the Yelliers were doing like a whole thing before the game, and they're like, "What are we going to do to the Horned Frogs?" And like, we're going to gig 'em. And this looks like, where's the camera? This looks like when you're gigging a frog, So yeah, that's where it comes from. Gig 'em Aggies. I like you on that one. Put this together. That pays is $12.97 on ESPN right now. Scotty, if Chris goes into his savings account, more specifically, if Chris goes to his aunt and says, "You know what, Christmas is coming soon, you can just go ahead and give me money now," and asks her for a crisp $100 bill, and he puts it on this, what does that pay?
You will win $1,297.
That's more than Chris's last paycheck. Yes, $1,297. I like this. I like this one a lot, even though that boring Cincinnati TCU game is included in this. I like this one a lot.
Hey, we're picking winners.
Yeah, that's what we do. If you listened to us last week, you would have made some money here on this one. So Cincinnati, South Carolina, and the by God Texas Aggies pays it's $1,297 if you put a hundo on that one. And last thing before we get out of here, you see my hat? It is the old North State, NC State, and North Carolina from Chapel Hill. I haven't even looked at the line. It doesn't even matter.
I see you didn't pick that as your upset, though.
Nah, because it's not an upset. It's not an upset. You know why? Because at NC State, it's a hand in the dirt school, as Dave Doran said many years ago. We want it more. They don't give a fuck about Mac Brown. That's why they unceremoniously fired his ass earlier in the week and then put out, he's stepping down. He's not coming back. And it's going to be a celebration of Mac Brown. Let me tell you something. I'm sure he's a wonderful human being, but fuck Mac Brown. Fuck Carolina. Fuck their shitty baby blue. Fuck their fake fans. Fuck their phony academic classes. Everyone graduating with African-American studies degrees and never went there because they were just pushing them through the program. Fuck Marvin Austin. Fuck Chris Keldor. Fuck Dre Bly. Fuck them all. If you put on the Carolina blue, you're an asshole, including he who should not be named, who played 4 years in NC State and then transferred to North Carolina this year in their secondary. Fuck him too, and the horse he rode with it on. Once you're a Tar Heel, you're dead to me. What do they say? It's a great day to be a Tar Heel. It's a great day to be a fucking asshole. Fuck you, Carolina. I hate everything associated with you. NC State was literally created because North Carolina was embezzling money. You can go and look that shit up. They were supposed to start an agricultural college, and they didn't do it because they were embezzling money. They're cheats. They're frauds. They always have been. They always will be. We're going to win in Chapel Hill today, and hopefully we burn the goddamn stadium down afterwards and salt the earth so nothing ever goes again. Go Pack. Go to hell, Carolina.
Sorry, UNC is going to win.
Fuck you. Go Pack. Yeah, no, fuck them. Those baby blue assholes, as Dave Doran said last year. They didn't show up last year. Couldn't even have the goddamn right cleats. They were skating all over the place, looking like fucking ice capades out there on the field. There'll be no one there. They don't care. It's basketball season now in Chapel Hill, so they can go to Walmart and get their fake Carolina jerseys and pretend that they know who the point guard is. Fuck them. Fuck you, Elliot. Fuck you, Hubert Davis. Fuck them all. I hate them. I hate them.
Guy's about to have a stroke.
Yeah, I hate them. I hate them more. I hate Carolina more than I enjoy breathing. Okay, I hate Carolina more than I enjoy beer, and I love beer. So the hell with them. This is what this week is about. This week is about hate. It's about hate, and I have hate for them. Like Brent Pry said last night before that Georgia Tech game, there's nothing in the world that he hates more than Georgia. I feel that in my heart for Carolina. There's nothing in this world that I hate more than them. If North Carolina went to war with Iran, I'm back in Iran, okay? Fuck the Charlie Fields.
Jesus. Yeah, fuck you, turkeys.
I mean, my
All right.
As a
turks.
Hokie.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
I hope he's a castrated turkey, but that castrated turkey's been kicking that Cavaliers' ass. So. All right, boys, let's get us out of here before I have a bunch of guys and fake maybe blue Argyle bullshit coming to sue me or something, because that's all they can do. Fucking
Or you
shot.
have an aneurysm?
Yeah, that too. All right, we'll see you next week. Peace. Go to hell, Carolina.
Peace. Go Hokies.